Welcome to the latest edition of Connecting is Not Enough, the networking radio show. In this episode, I'll be talking about the value I've got from 10 years of membership of the Professional Speaking Association and how you can get value from your own industry body. I'll be inviting you to learn sales secrets from some of the UK's leading entrepreneurs and discussing the key approaches you need to take if you are or if you need a mentor. I'll also be asking you why you network and discussing some great uses for networks with innovation and crowdsourcing expert Paul Sloane. We'll have some music from Southgate and Leigh, and finally I'll be explaining why I don't think it's a good idea to ask clients for a referral in a business meeting. Last week I was told yet again how speaking in front of an audience was someone's worst nightmare and how they just couldn't understand how I could possibly enjoy what I do for a living. Despite hearing this time and time again, I still meet so many people who are asked to give presentations as part of their job or who are increasingly drawn to sharing their experiences and expertise with others. I've spoken about the Professional Speaking Association on many occasions, and I've related how my membership over the last decade has had a huge impact on my speaking abilities and on my business. If you do speak as a key part of your role, I'd strongly recommend looking at the PSA and considering becoming an associate. My good friend BBC presenter Jeremy Nicholas recently put together a video showcasing the value the PSA brings to its members. You can view the video on Connecting is Not Enough the e-zine or at www.professionalspeaking.biz. You may even recognise one or two faces in there. If you're based outside the UK, you can check out the Global Speakers Federation website for the nearest association to you. While if you don't speak for your job but want to improve your speaking skills and your confidence, check out local public speaking clubs, the best known of which are Toastmasters International. You may be listening to me and wondering what on earth any of this has got to do with you. Speaking's not and will never be on your radar. Well, the PSA is my professional association, and I've benefited enormously by being proactive as a member and a fellow and making the most of the opportunities it offers. Are you a member of your professional association? If so, how much value have you allowed it to present to you? You can't just join and hope that the benefits come. Go to meetings, get involved, and know what you need to do to get a return from your investment in membership. On the 16th of April, seasoned entrepreneur Lara Morgan, who successfully grew her global business Pacific Direct to a huge level before selling her majority share for 20 million, is hosting an amazing sales strategy event with 11 great speakers, including Sinclair Beecham, co-founder of Pret a Manger, James Averdick, founder of Goo, and Ed Ray, the co-founder of Betfair. Lara has offered 2 free tickets worth £500 to readers of Connecting is Not Enough and listeners to the radio show. For your chance to win a ticket, please email inquiries@lopata.co.uk by the 22nd of March to be in with a chance. To find out more about the event and to register, visit companyshortcuts.com and click on the events tab. Don't worry if you book your place and then win a ticket. Lara will of course refund the cost of your purchase to you. I regularly urge my audiences at my talks to find one or even more mentors to help them achieve their potential. I have several mentors myself, and I also mentor a small number of people. But a conversation recently made me think more closely about what are the key ingredients of a strong mentoring relationship. As ever, I turned to my network for their ideas, and I brought them together into 5 key tips for both mentors and mentees. Tip 1. Clear expectations. Both parties need to have very clear expectations about what they want from the relationship. Before finding a mentor for yourself, understand exactly what you want them to help you achieve. Not only will such clarity help the mentor to help you, it will also provide the information you need to find the right mentor. The mentor also needs to understand why they are entering into the agreement. In some cases it will be a paid service they offer, but in many others mentors provide their services voluntarily. They need to have a clear motivation to ensure they are happy keeping mentoring appointments and maintain their interest over a period of time. Tip 2. Good chemistry. It should go without saying that there should be mutual respect and rapport between the mentee and the mentor. You don't need to be close friends, or you don't even necessarily need to like each other. But the mentor needs to want the mentee to succeed. The mentee needs to trust the mentor's advice, and the two of you need to be working together to achieve a common goal rather than facing conflict after conflict. Mutual respect is a key foundation to allow the transparency and honesty from both parties that is essential to the success of a mentoring relationship. The mentor's role is to guide, provide honest feedback and give the mentee the tools to make informed decisions. The final choice should always, however, be the mentee's, and the mentor should never seek to force an uncomfortable decision nor prescribe what they perceive to be the right route. Tip 3. A structured approach. You can have informal mentoring relationships where you call for advice when you have a specific challenge you'd like help and advice on. But formal mentoring arrangements need a structured approach, where both parties agree on how frequently they meet, whether in person or virtually, and what they expect to happen at those meetings. Be clear as well about what is expected of both the mentor and the mentee between each session, and how long the mentoring program is expected to last for. Tip 4. Different strokes. Not everyone has the same learning or teaching style. Part of getting the chemistry right is ensuring that your styles match. The mentor shouldn't impose their own style on someone who wouldn't respond, nor should the mentee expect the mentor to work with them in a way that they're not comfortable with. As a mentee, be aware of your mentor's boundaries. Just because they're there to support you doesn't necessarily give you permission to call them at all hours or several times a week. Agree boundaries in advance and honour them throughout the relationship. Tip 5. Allow for a change in direction. While you may go into a mentoring arrangement with clear objectives, the advice given or experiences during the course of the mentoring may lead to changes in where you want to go. As a mentee, bring such potential changes to your mentor and ask for their advice and input. And mentors should be open to such changes, helping their mentee to weigh up the pros and cons and reach an informed decision. Have you thought recently about why you network, what your key challenges are, and how your network could help you? If you've been a regular listener to these podcasts, of course I hope you do. But just in case, here's a quick refresher from a talk I gave to members of Eventia in the summer.
What's your objective every time you network? So over the next few minutes, what I'd like to do is just share with you the 3 main reasons I think we network. Share with you some of the things that have happened to me in my business and how I've benefited from networking and you know, where sometimes things have gone slightly wrong or could have gone slightly wrong without the help of my network. And focus on how networks can help you in your business and in your career. And there's something I want to stress there first. I said how networks can help you, not how networking events can help you. Because there's this myth, this fallacy that networking events are what networking is, but that's not the case. Networking events help you network. Networking sites help you network, but it's the people you know, like and trust, the people with whom you have a relationship that the support will come from. So all the networking you do should be focused about building relationships, about getting to know people, about developing trust, so that you can get the support that you need. Yes, we do need contacts. You know, there's no point trying to network and get support if you've got 20 people in your address book and they all work in the same field. You need a relatively wide range of contacts and you need diversity within that contact base so you can reach different sectors, different industries, you can benefit from different wisdom and different experience. But if all you do is focus on the breadth of your network and you forget about the depth of it, you're going to struggle. You won't get the benefit. If you want people to talk about you, if you want people to recognise opportunities for you, they've got to know you first. It's that VCP process all over again. So focus on building relationships. I didn't know that opportunity was there. So does it matter that I had this person's number in my phone? No, I couldn't do anything with it. I wouldn't know to do anything with it. Does it matter that I follow her on Twitter and she follows me? No, because I didn't know the opportunity was there. It's not what you know or who you know, it's who knows you and what they say about you. How much time have you spent thinking about the message you get across to people in your network? How much time have you focused on what they say about you when you're not in the room? How much time have you focused on what they could say when they're meeting people day in and day out? So if you're at a 2-day conference like this, your network can be working for you that whole time. Without turning to my network for help and support, I wouldn't be here giving this talk today. I would be bankrupt, and I would be in a job that I hate. Networking to become better equipped is something that we all need to focus on all the time, because it's a particularly British mentality. We try and do things on our own too much. We try and prove that we know everything to other people when we can't know everything. We are surrounded by people who between them do. Look around the room now. Think about the range of experience, expertise, different ways of approaching things, ideas that there are in this room. Now think of the challenges you have in your business. There's someone in here now who could help you overcome that challenge. But all too often, we don't ask. So how often do you keep getting things wrong and wrong and wrong again because you're too proud to ask for help? How many times do you repeat the mistakes that other people have made before? How many times do you not tap into expertise and experience and just a different perspective around you, when if you had done it would have made things so much easier? And what I saw when I walked onto the exhibition floor was exactly as Steve had outlined it. Everyone was walking around with a stoop. And they were making eye-to-badge contact, shaking their heads. I swear I saw them walk along Wembley Way at the end like this. And they were literally shaking their head if they didn't like the look of your name badge. I got into conversation with a guy from Germany. I say conversation, that's probably generous. I asked him questions, he looked at my name badge and tried to get out of the conversation. And it lasted 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, he said, "Would you excuse me?" He said, "There's someone over there I have to talk to." He walked 5 yards, he got his BlackBerry out and he started dealing with his email. Because I didn't have the right name badge on. If he'd have spent 2 minutes talking to me, what might he have found out? What my friend does. Steve was exactly the person he needed to talk to. Not only that, but he knew everyone else that this guy needed to talk to, but my name badge didn't tell him that. So he walked away, and he lost the opportunity. How many times does that happen? We look at someone's job title, we look at their business card, and we decide instantly, how relevant are you to me? You know, are you the right person for me? Because otherwise I need to move on. We don't know who people can introduce. We can focus on networking to become better known. What do we want to be known for? After this event has finished, when do we want the people we meet to think about us? What do we want them to say when they're in front of the right people? We can focus on networking to become better equipped. What support do we need? What help do we need? What advice, what ideas, what expertise can we benefit from? What experience can we benefit from? And we can focus on building the relationships with people where they will be happy to help us. And we can focus on networking to become better connected. Build the relationship, get to know people, develop trust, and then when you need an introduction, you can ask for it. Better known, better equipped, better connected, better networking. Thank you very much. And remember, above all, it's about building the relationships, so go out and network and have fun. Thank you.
I recently called up with Paul Sloane, author, speaker and facilitator on lateral thinking in business. I asked Paul about crowdsourcing techniques, why people would want to help you innovate, and his use of social media to keep his network engaged. I'm joined by Paul Sloane. Paul is a well-known speaker and author on lateral thinking and innovation. And Paul and I have been talking about how networks can help us innovate better. So Paul, can you just share with us some ideas that if people have a difficult challenge, they want to take their business in a new direction, how can they best tap into their networks effectively to get the best solutions?
It's an interesting question, and it's related to a topic called crowdsourcing. And crowdsourcing involves throwing out any problem you have to the crowd. Not to any crowd, but a select crowd. And there are many examples of it. Incentive do it, and Threadless do it. Starbucks do it, My Starbucks Idea, Dell do it, with Dell Idea Storm. And what they're doing is they're saying, give us your ideas. And it's very successful. It involves the community, and if it's done right, you'll get a lot of great ideas.
So you're a small business, doesn't matter small or large, and you think, well, okay, crowdsourcing is the way to go. I want to tap into that wisdom of crowds, as sort of Ecki's put it, if I pronounce that right. What's your next step? What do you do to tap into the crowdsourcing?
You have to define the question very carefully, and you have to think, what outcome do I want? What looks like a good solution? And you have to ask the question, what's in it for the crowd? And typically the crowd want to do it because of participation, because of engagement, because they're interested in the topic, not for monetary reward very often. So I've recently published a book called A Guide to Open Innovation and Crowdsourcing, and I crowdsourced the book. I went to all the leading experts and thinkers and writers in crowdsourcing and open innovation, and I said, would you like to contribute a chapter? I got a commission from Kogan Page first, and then I went to everyone and said, Kogan Page have asked me to write this book, would you like to contribute a chapter? And they nearly all said yes, and I just had to then coordinate it, and I got lots of great chapters in, put them together, edited them a little, and I put together a very interesting book, A Guide to Open Innovation and Crowdsourcing. I crowdsourced the book.
Okay, so you mentioned as well, you mentioned a few online examples, Starbucks being one of them. You mentioned earlier to me that you use social media a lot, so can you use social media to crowdsource, and what would your approach be?
I use social media a lot to promote myself as a thought leader in my sector and to get business, and I recommend other people who are in business to business or business to consumer to do it. And the way to do it, I use Twitter very extensively. I put a lot of effort into Twitter, so I tweet probably 8 or 10 times a day. I schedule tweets in advance. I retweet anything that I think would be of value or interest to my particular followers. So it's not just about self-promotion, though occasionally you do self-promote, I have to admit. It's about adding value. If you're a specialist in a particular area, you should be pointing people towards things that you think they will find interesting. And if you do that, more people will follow you. You become a maven. You become a connector.
Excellent. Paul Sloane, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Back in January, I shared with you a song by Southgate and Leigh, a duo I first met performing at a friend's birthday party. On a recent trip, I was delighted to hear them featured on BBC Radio 2 as one of the acts chosen by Joan Armour Trading to support her on her UK tour last year. Here's another selection from Southgate and Leigh's excellent album Where We Are, which is available on iTunes. This is Call Off the Search.
Well, you can call off the search, call off the search, because I don't want to be found. Call off the search, call off the search, because I don't want to be found. No, no. Well, I can make it on my own right now. I've worked out how I can live without you. You never took the time to get to know me. You didn't show me you off the search because I wanna be found. Call off the search, call off the search because I don't wanna be found. No, I don't wanna be found. I don't wanna be found.
That was Southgate and Leigh with the fantastic Call Off the Search. In one of my workshops last week, one of the participants told me that he had a number of annual reviews with clients scheduled over the next couple of months, and his plan was to confirm with the clients that they were happy with his work for them over the last year, and then to ask them for referrals. Please don't, I asked to his surprise. They might be very happy with the work you've done, and indeed they may be happy to refer, but don't ask at your review meeting. I explained that most people look to their clients first for referrals. Now that makes sense on the face of it. After all, your clients have direct experience of your services, and they're in the best position to relate the quality of the experience and the benefits of engaging with you. I have a different view, however. That's not to say I don't ask clients for referrals. I do, and I've had some excellent referrals from past and present clients, including a very promising one this week. They're not, however, my primary referral source. And when I do ask for referrals, it's not at the same time as engaging in delivery for my clients. I believe that when I'm working for clients, I'm delivering a service for which they pay me. That's not the time to ask for referrals, to ask them to serve me. It's far more appropriate, and it's got greater impact to save the request for a referral for another time, even if it's a telephone call a week later. The conversation reminded me of a networking interaction I had a few years ago. I'd recently been advised that I needed to be a little bit more guarded about my time, as I was being stretched in every direction. Therefore, when a new connection through a social network asked for a meeting, I wasn't, shall we say, very accessible. He asked several times before, in an inspired shift of tact, he asked if I played golf and invited me to play at his club. Suddenly, of course, I found even more time in my diary than he'd originally requested. I turned up at his club expecting to talk business as we worked our way around the course, and I was surprised to find that his neighbour had joined us for the round. To confuse me further, there's no way his neighbour would have had any interest in our business discussion. Sure enough, we played 18 holes without discussing business once. My host then invited me to join him in the bar for a drink. I was aware that the rush hour was due to start soon, but it would have been ungracious of me to make my excuses, so I joined him in the clubhouse, or the 19th hole as it's known in golf circles. Over a pint of beer we talked business, and I found myself promising 3 key introductions for him, introductions which I subsequently followed up and made. While many people see golf as the ultimate corporate networking opportunity, it's often seen as poor form to raise business on the golf course. There's a time and a place, often the 19th hole. It's the same with asking clients for referrals. When you're serving your clients, that's where your focus should be and where it should stay. If your relationship with them is strong and they're happy to refer you, the request will hold off until a later stage when it's not taking the shine off what you are doing for them. There's a time and a place to ask for referrals, and it's a different time and a different place to client reviews or sales meetings. Keep the focus on them until you reach the 19th hole. That's it for the Networking Radio Show for this month. We'll be back again after Easter. In the meantime, don't forget there are a host of free resources on my website at www.lopata.co.uk. Please do get in touch and share your feedback. I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, happy networking.